Hey everybody, it's Grady at Twin Creek Audio, back in the studio today, and I've got something really cool to show you right underneath this Halloween Dracula cape. So let's uncover this thing. Do it quick, keep the dust off. It's a Soundtracs Topaz Project 8 recording console. I love this console. I've had this particular one for about 6 years, but this is the second one of these I've owned. I had one of these, I got rid of it. I had a Soundcraft Ghost for a little while, and I got rid of the Ghost and I bought another one of these 6 years ago. And I used this until I got my Soundcraft Sapphire. This is a great console, so in this video I'm going to show you just a general overview of the console. But don't worry, I'm going to make several videos on this console. Today I'm just going to show the back panel, everything before I hook it up. Then I'm going to hook this console up to some of my gear and do some demonstration videos with it also. The Soundtracs Topaz Project 8. I've moved the camera in a little bit closer so you can kind of see generally what the areas of this console are. Over here are the main channels. This one has 24 channels, although Soundtracs did make a Topaz Project 8 with 32 channels, and I've even seen some people combine more than one of these to make a larger version than what they ever manufactured. So these are the channels, 24 of them. Each channel has a monitor channel built into it too, which is mainly for your tape return, because when these were on the market you would have still been using a tape machine or a modular digital multi-track like an ADAT or a Tascam DA88 or something. This console is unique in that the monitor channels have a solo and a dedicated mute switch, something that the Mackie, they called theirs Mix B on the Mackie. It didn't have all those things, and you had to borrow the EQ, whereas this console you have a dedicated high and low frequency EQ that's just for the monitor. Your EQ is up here. You've got 4-band EQ with 2 sweepable mid-range frequencies. Your mic gain up here. Each channel has these switches at the top. You've got a phase switch, individual phantom power for that channel, a flip switch to flip the monitor channel and the main channel's positions, and a bus switch. So this console is kind of like the Soundcraft Sapphire. It has a floating bus architecture, so that your direct outputs from the channels can be turned into the outputs of the buses, which are over here. So that moves us on to this section. This is your 8 buses. Each of the buses has a sign switch, solo, after fader, listen, AFL in this case. You've got your monitor mix master. It has a merge switch, so you can merge the monitor channels with the main channels and have full 48 channels. You've got effects returns up here, your auxiliary masters, input for a talkback mic, your talkback adjustments and buttons for the talkback, headphone, your control room section, studio section, and of course your master left right, which are on individual faders, which I always like that better in case you need to even out your stereo mix. So that's kind of a good general overview of the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8. I'm going to go around and take a look at the back panel of this. Here is the back panel of the Soundtracs Topaz. Something very important here to take note of. When you have the meter bridge on one of these Topaz consoles, the external power supply box, which is out of sight right now behind that blanket, but the external power supply plugs into the meter bridge, and then the pigtail from the meter bridge plugs into the console PSU in. Looking from the back of the console, the channel strips are over here on the right with all of their inputs and outputs. So let me zoom in on one of those. Okay, looks like 10 is right in the center of the screen. So starting from the top, you've got the mic XLR input, then you have a line input, then the insert, then you have the monitor or tape in, you might call it a tape return, and then you have the tape out or direct out.
Now if you remember, that's switchable to be an output of one of the buses with one of the buttons at the top of the strip on the front of the console. So that's pretty cool. I had to severely adjust this tripod and raise this up because the back panel of this is all at kind of an angle, which I think is kind of a good thing. It might help keep dust out of the jacks. I'm not sure, but seems like that's just as good as anything else. It's definitely better than having them on the top of the console like you see with the Soundcraft Spirit or the Mackie 8 bus series. So let's look in closely at what we've got here on the master patch section on the back of this console. Zoom in. Top left, we've got the main left and right outputs and the main inserts. And then we've got the group outputs there in the top row 1 through 8. It's with a G in front of the number. And below that you've got inserts for all of the subgroups. You've got your monitor mix output right and left, right underneath the master outs and inserts. You've got the studio out for, like a set of studio speakers or for your headphone amp possibly. The auxiliary outputs are next to that, 1 through 6. And you've got a 2-track input. You've actually got 2 of those. You've got 2-track A and 2-track B. Got 2 sets of control room outputs, which is another nice feature. You can actually run 2 sets of control room monitors, 2 sets of studio monitors off of this, and there's a switch on the front. The FX inputs, which you have 4 stereo effects returns right there, those are on a stereo TRS plug. So that's why you don't see pairs of them. It's kind of curious that they did that for the effects returns, but you have a separate control room for 2 sets of control room monitors. But that's fine, it works fine. You just need a Y cable. Oh, and then you've got the ground plug right here. This is a screw terminal for an additional ground to keep the console grounded.
This little Topaz has been really reliable for me. It sounds really good. Obviously, you know, the preamps and the EQ on this are fantastic. The routing's really good. This has every feature you could possibly want if you were using anything up to an analog 24-track. Which I actually used this with an MCI JH16 24-track for a while. Well, not this one, but the other Topaz that I owned before. I used that with the MCI JH16 24. And Soundtracs, they're mostly, you know, the ones that I know about that they made are from the 80s and the 90s. They made the CM440, which was one of the first large format consoles they made. They made the Jade, which was their top-of-the-line console in the 90s. They also made the Solitaire, another large format console. I don't have any personal experience with any of those. They also made the PC MIDI and the MX series. All of those consoles were modular. This one's not, but it has been very reliable, and I really wouldn't hesitate to own another one of these, except this is already my second one, and I have one. But I would recommend it for you if you need a good solid analog console that's not noisy and has really good preamps and really good EQ.
I'm going to make a killer demonstration with this console here pretty soon. First of all, I need to find something to lift the console up a little bit to get some airflow underneath it, because these have part of the power supply and the heat sinks attached to the belly of the console. So you need to keep some airflow underneath it to keep that power supply healthy. So I've got to find some stuff to raise it up a little bit and get it connected back to a recording device so that I can make a really cool demonstration with the Soundtracs Topaz Project 8.
So this video is just a general look at this console. I showed the back of it before I have anything connected, so it's easy to see everything that's on the back of this console in this video. I am going to make some more videos. Like I said in the beginning, I'm going to do a demonstration video after I get this connected to some other equipment so that I can use it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have an excellent day, night, evening, weekday, weekend, hour, minute, second, nanosecond, whatever it is you're having. Have a good one, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.